Hey, BacoTunes podcast listeners, subscribers, and supporters. The episode you're about to hear is another BacoTunes Real Talk show, Podclash. Real Talk is an hour-long syndicated terrestrial radio show I host every week out of Bakersfield, California. Yes, you heard correcto, Bakersfield, California. The terrestrial show also has a podcast component with lots of bonus material, extended discussions, amusing ramblings, and cool music with various in-studio guests. If you'd like to add Real Talk to your podcast subscriptions, go to the info box of this episode of BacoTunes and click on Real Talk Podcast. The hyperlink will take you to the Real Talk Podcast home, and you know what to do from there. So, let's get to it. Enjoy.
Sup, Craig? Sup, Red? Hey, Smokey, sell me a dub.
I ain't selling you nada.
Come on, Holmes. Let's let bygones be bygones.
Welcome back to Real Talk. It's your host, Mr. Matt Munoz here, and I am joined once again in studio by...
It's a me, Cesario.
Yes, and it's time for E-News. Yay. How you doing, my bro?
Fantastic.
Yes, fantastic. Wonderful to hear, because after this long Memorial Day weekend that we just got through, and it still feels like it's...
I can still smell the aerosol sunscreen in my nostrils. I can still smell it. And it's been a week.
We have a lot.
Almost a week.
We have a lot to cover because, so last week, even before the weekend started, my wife and I were coming back from Paso Robles. We went to go see Lord Huron at the Vina Robles Amphitheater, which, by the way, probably in my top 5 all-time favorite places to go see a concert.
Never been. Heard good things.
You got to go.
Yeah.
Not a bad seat. You can. This is one thing. The pit. The thing with the pit is that you have to be a certain height. However, they only let so many people in there. So they regulate it, so you can kind of sit, and the show was sold out. They did 2 nights. Then you got your box seats, your regular ones that are folded, and you got little private boxes, and then you have a grassy area. Right. So the one thing about that is that if you go to the pit, they let you go sit on the grassy area if you get tired of standing. Yeah. So you can go back over there, and, everybody's really cool. They have plenty of bars. Of course, that's wine country, so they got all the wine. Yeah. They got all those things.
I have the feeling where it's like certain venues, especially the ones in Southern California, they're very age appropriate. Like, for example, the Palladium, the Palace, the Wiltern, those are like 20-somethings. You're standing in general admission. Everything's general admission. Where can you sit? There are no seats. Good luck. You have a wall, or maybe if you're lucky, you can find like a pedestal that you can just kind of rest on. Then you start getting into your 30s and your 40s, and you start dealing more with like theaters that have seats. For me, at 50, my favorite theater, the Greek. The Greek Theater. I love that place. I love it. It's intimate. Every seat, there's no such thing as a bad seat in the place. The food is really good, and the parking is fantastic, and it's surrounded by a park, so you're good.
That's one thing about Cesario that you could appreciate is that when Cesario goes places, he's going to try the concessions.
Absolutely. You gotta dip. You gotta dip your foot in the pool.
Like you said. Oh, they got great this. They got great pizza. Oh, they got great nachos. They got. That's what I like.
For example, best hot dogs in town, bar none. The best hot dogs, the best concession stand hot dogs in a movie theater, Edwards.
Really?
More so than more so than the Maya, more so than the Reading, more so than Stereo. I don't even think. Yeah, more so. I don't even think Studio Movie Grill has hot dogs, but those 3 places, the best ones.
Man, we're gonna have to send you on a thing because Real Talk. We're gonna be doing some little hint. We're gonna be doing some video. I'm gonna have to take Cesario, and we're gonna have to do a Cesario concession stand rating.
Yeah, the best caramel corn is AMC.
Oh my God! So listen. So Vina Robles, right?
Vina Robles, yes.
Robles, very nice place. Concert was awesome. Ran into a lot of Bakersfield people there.
Yeah, Devin Brinsfield was there.
Yeah, Devin Brinsfield, which we will get to.
Yep.
But ran into some people that we played their wedding.
Yeah.
They go, hey. It's like we played their wedding like 20 years ago. But check this out. They were like, so glad we run into you because we want to have an anniversary party.
Oh, heck
we want you to play. I was
We'd love that. Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then we ran into some other people, and then we found out that some other people from Bakersfield were there. I was looking at some photos at Devin Brinsfield, and who we talked about, who, if you listened to the show last week, we played his song Trouble, and lots of
Which
fun.
you appreciated, by the way.
Oh, yeah. No. It's great. It's great stuff. But yeah, talk about those venues. So that's where it started. But the next day, heading back, we stop at that place, which is all very James Deany.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that place? I just went blank. And
it's not on Enos. It's like 7th Standard Road curves into the 46.
It's the place that has the big James
Lost Hills.
Dean.
Yeah, it's right before Lost Hills.
I don't know why I forgot about it. Let me see. James Dean stopover. It's called James Dean's Last Stop or something.
Yeah,
like
but like when you're driving up through into when you head towards Paso Robles on the 46, there's a little shop right there where it's like the last stand. This is like the big Shell station. They
Blackwell's Corner.
That's it. Blackwell's Corner. They sell
Lost Hills.
Lost Hills. They sell fudge.
Yeah.
The most delicious fudge. Just do not leave it in your car overnight or it'll melt.
Yeah.
But
tons of snacks.
Yeah, and they even have a diner in that place.
Yes. The one that remember? Did they still? I didn't notice it when we went in there. But they would have like these mannequins that were.
They're still there. They're still there. Yeah, and then some of them are even holding out little trays where you can like put your like coins and stuff. Yeah, it's both really kind of like nostalgic and also creepy.
Yeah,
like they could, kitschy and creepy. That's pretty much it. That's like Terror Train. This is the last stop for Terror Train right here at night. Those mannequins come to life with knives.
I know. So that place right there, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
James Dean, but like the thing is that James Dean did not stop there.
No. It's apparently he stopped a little farther up the 46.
Yeah,
and that's why they have like the little memorial thing right.
Yeah, it's because even when you're getting over there towards into Paso Robles and San Luis Obispo, there's the tree that has the James Dean Memorial.
Yeah,
he did not. That's not where he died.
No.
And there's so much James Dean stuff. I mean, think about this new generation, this younger generation.
Right.
Do they even know who James Dean is?
James Dean would be their Timothée Chalamet. That's really who he was. He was just a really talented actor. He would have been like millennials or even Generation X.
He's a gay icon, too.
Yeah, he is. Generation X is Leonardo DiCaprio, kind of.
Yeah.
Really, really good actor. Just kind of on par to become kind of the next Brando with incredible charisma and magnetism for both genders, and just died.
Yeah,
he just died. Rebel
without a cause.
Yeah, exactly. Almost literally. And he's like Marilyn. It's those kind of like really bigger than life personalities, movie stars from that era. We won't see again. We won't see anyone like that.
He's memorialized in a series of snacks. Like you go, we got these candied covered peanuts or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
They all have a picture of James Dean on them. Yeah. It's all James Dean's Last Stop.
That's just nuts.
Oh my God. So, speaking of this place, as I'm walking in, I go, told my wife, I only know one person who has that car. Yeah. And I go, look at that stuff. I go, it looks like it's crammed with stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's crammed with drums and guitars.
It's got to be Cesario.
It was me, yeah.
So I walk around the corner. There's Kyle Appleton.
Yeah.
And he was just, having a smoke, just looking at his phone. And I was all, what's up, dude? And he's all kind of looked up. Whoa. Hey. And so we were talking. And then Cesario comes out with all his snacks.
Yeah, of course. A bag of fudge.
Yeah. So you guys were on your way over there.
Yes, we were heading over to Paso to go play at the Barrel House Brewery
in Tin City.
In Tin City. That whole area is wild,
cool,
man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
If you ever go, if you're into wine, I would say, you see all the Tobin James and you see all those places. You know what? Find Tin City with all the independent vineyards, all those independent winemakers. There's so many.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. It's filled. There are so many wineries and vineries and just all these different. There's a lot to choose from.
And Barrel House is a really good place. They got good food. Well, they've got food trucks out there and stuff like that.
They have usually smash burgers, and if you don't have money or you don't want to spend money on a burger, they have this big bowl full of pretzels, and then you can put pretzels inside a little paper, bowl, and then they have deli mustard. So you can squirt the deli mustard onto the pretzels and just eat them. It's a nice little.
See, that's the thing that
very considerate.
This is the thing that I envy about Cesario's role as a musician, because he doesn't always have to sing. He sings backup. He can sing backup, but he doesn't have to sing lead. So which means that if there's any food offered, he can eat all he wants.
Yeah, and the good news.
And I just watch him eat, and I'm like, I wish I could.
Well, it reminds me of what Bon Jovi said when he was being interviewed by Howard Stern, and Howard Stern was talking about how Bon Jovi, not a lot of people will realize this, but it's like being the lead singer in Bon Jovi. It's not like you picture like these big rock and roll parties and just throwdowns, and just like complete hedonism. For Bon Jovi, he never had that life. Mm-mm. He purposefully disciplined himself to stay away from those kind of parties, to barely talk, to keep his instrument all the way into his 60s, 70s, and so he's not, smoking or drinking or doing any of those kinds of things or before or after shows. He's really paying attention to taking care of that. That's a sacrifice he has to make. So whenever Mento's playing a show and we've got like steaks, all this amazing wedding food, or these venues are like basically going, we've got barbecue, you want some barbecue? Yeah, Matt has to go, no, I'll take it to go.
I'm all just smelling the barbecue.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice that you have to do, because it's like what a lot of folks, maybe they do realize it, but what a lot of folks don't realize is that when you're singing, it's like you're expanding a lot of energy by using your diaphragm and you're using your stomach, and the last thing you want to do is be singing and just throw out a big old burp, or even worse, throw up on the microphone. And
that's happened.
Yeah, well, where it's like that's punk rock as heck, but at the same time, it's like having the bile going up your mouth, your throat, and your vocal cords it's a bad day. It's a bad time.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a bad time singing a concert. So yeah, it's like we understand and we feel your pain while we're eating our steak.
Yes. Yeah. So now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know the life of musicians and all the rules.
Yeah.
Eat or to not eat.
Yeah.
And speaking of John Bon Jovi, have you seen that documentary?
No, it's on the list.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's on the list.
But okay, so many things to catch up. Okay, so you guys went over there. So Devin Brinsfield, it was the first gig that you had leading into Lightning in a Bottle.
Yeah, we were using it as
so
kind
how
of
was
like
it?
prompt.
Now here's the thing that we mentioned this when I went to Vina Robles, when we got to the concert, I just had a light jacket, and then at a certain point the
freezing.
Temperature drops.
Yeah, it's
and you
freezing.
saw people just like
it's shivering.
Yeah.
No, it's brutally cold out there. And when I was leaving Bakersfield, because Bakersfield was hot.
Yeah.
It's weekend weather, and I went, I don't think I need my jacket. I'll have it just in case. I'm so glad that I did it.
Oh yeah.
Because as soon as it dropped, and as soon as it turned like past 6 o'clock, it was like forget about it.
And that's year round.
Year
round.
It's brutal. It's brutally cold. So if you're over there going to the amphitheater, or if you're just going to the Tin Alley, bring a jacket.
Yeah, bring a jacket. It will change.
It's unforgiving.
I would say about 7:30.
Yeah.
Boom. Psh, changes. It drops 10 degrees.
Yeah, wear a cowboy hat too. That helps keep in the heat. Beanie,
whatever you got.
Any headwear of your choice.
Yeah. So after that, went home, continued with the weekend. But then, what else did you do? Then you just kept on going.
Yeah, I played in Kernville with Angel's Roost. I taught students during Saturday, and then Sunday with Lightning in a Bottle.
Yeah. So let's talk about Lightning in a Bottle. So then you reconnect with Devin Brinsfield. Yeah, nice guy.
We used the Friday show.
Oh, and he was at the Lord Huron show.
Yeah, and we used the Friday show that at the Barrel House as a way to time our set for Lightning in a Bottle, and figuring out which songs we wanted to keep for the set and which songs we wanted to take out, and we did some last minute things and just kind of tightening up the screws on the timing and the show. And when we finally got to play at Lightning in a Bottle, we were like that, and very, very little mistakes. Everybody had a great time. We played at noon at a festival, and not even one of the main stages of the festival. The main stages of the festival didn't even start playing until like 2 or 3. We were on a side stage called the Grand Artique, which is right across from a little haberdashery, I think that's the right word, kind of old west trading post kind of thing, where you can buy antiques and down the way you could buy a hat, if you wanted to, and it's so. A lot of people there were dressed in old west outfits, suspenders with no shirts on. If you've ever seen the old school poker dealers with the ruffled shirt and the little bowler cap, those kind of, and then the women dressed up to nines, with the little House on the Prairie suits, the little parasols and the whole deal. And they watched the whole show, and there were a lot of people that you could see, a lot of young people. They were not from Bakersfield, although some people were there from Bakersfield. Shout out to the Bakersfield crew that paid the money to go see us on Sunday, or just to go to the festival on Sunday and saw us. a lot of the folks that were there, we played a Tyler Childers song, and out of nowhere, just to let you know, for those of you who don't know what Lightning in a Bottle is, this event, it's kind of a combination between Coachella, Burning Man, Disneyland. It's a funky, freaky Disneyland, and the if there was a piece of clothing,
I would say an Electric Daisy Carnival. Right?
Yes,
because there's a lot of DJs and
lots of it. Yes, and if there was a piece of clothing to represent what this festival is, it would be the thong.
Yeah,
and it's not done in a salacious way. If you've ever been to a beach, then it's the same clothing that you'd see there. It's just people just walking around the festival as such. It's youth being young, and they're celebrating. They're celebrating that energy, and that entire energy permeates through the show. So we're playing a Tyler Childers song, Feathered Indians, and out of nowhere, this beautiful young 20-something woman wearing just a little bikini and a thong, of course, in this silver kind of like draped in this silver. It's almost like a those beans that you walk. Those beads you walk through in the doorway. Mm-hmm. She's wearing them, and it's all silver, and she's jumping up and down, and she's singing along like she's like in complete and utter joy. And that was the kind of the effect that we were having with the people around there. We played Streets of Bakersfield, and all the other non-Bakersfield people lost their freaking minds. They were loving it. We played Mama Tried. They loved it. We wanted to represent the Bakersfield town. We played our originals. They loved it. They treated everything with an incredible amount of immediate respect and appreciation.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want to feel welcome and hospitality, because not only is it your hometown, but all that, and because I know you guys also did Un Rinconcito en el Cielo.
Yeah, and there were people out there. There was a trio sitting next to the tree. I can see them in my head, and they were kind of our liaisons. They're there to help all the artists. Also, I have to say this, as an artist performing at this festival, everybody that was there was top notch, A+. No notes. Everybody was so friendly and accommodating. You want water? You want this? You want that? They even had people there to help us as our liaisons, show us around the festival. Like, who does that? They didn't just give you tickets and go, on your own. They go, hey, these are some people that are going to walk you around in case you need to know where the food is, where the restrooms are, where to go from here, where to go from there. It was really cool. But when we played Rinconcito del Cielo, which Devin got from Vince Galindo, when he does Streets of Bakersfield, people were like, what? You could see people standing up and go, and then start dancing, because they're both being represented, Latino, and they're also recognize the song, and they're just having a great time. So, and here's something that we know, playing in Mento, whenever we play. When you go to a festival, you see you got the curious people, right? You got the curious ones. You got the people that come in and then just kind of check out the music and then leave. That happens. That's going to happen. I would say everybody that we saw playing while we were playing stayed. So if somebody stopped by, they stayed. They stayed till the end of the show. If they were there at the beginning, they didn't leave. So anybody that would kind of come into the orbit would stay. And that's what happens at Mento shows. Mento shows, we start playing, people show up. Then they start dancing. Then more people show up. Then more people, and then it just becomes this kind of like cotton ball of awesome. The snowball of awesome, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And, I think being the only act from Bakersfield that I'm aware of that played at this, we represented very well. We represented Bakersfield very well.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
that was great.
We were really proud of it, but more than anything else, it was just such a great thing to be able to like look around and go, oh, they're here. All of these folks from all over the world are having such a great time and experiencing this here.
Yeah, in Bakersfield.
In Bakersfield,
right there.
Part of the world.
A lot of people, they still, and I'm not even going to give them any energy, but like those people who bash it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, well, it's obviously not for you.
No,
but they bring a lot of revenue into Bakersfield.
Oh, my gosh.
And they take care of that lake. I mean, unless everybody is like, unless you go out there and you're all concerned about the lake, trust me, they're taking care of the property. Considering the things that they found in the lake in the past, I think a bunch of festival goers are the least that they're going to be worried about. Yeah, it's and I'm glad because they're going to be back. They'll be back next year. You went back. Now you went back to go see. So tell me about who you went to go see. So we left the festival at 3. I was exhausted after all those gigs playing outdoors and wearing cowboy boots and walking around and just in the heat, and I'm just like, I'm going home. So I picked up my wife, she got off work, and Elise and we both went back, and we
since we had all the parking stuff from earlier for the artists, we just parked right there, walked right in, and we walked around. There's a certain experience that if you've never been to a festival, or if you're planning on going to a festival, be prepared to experience the porta potty. The horror show that is a porta potty at night.
Yeah.
Which is because you're at the end of the festival and it's been the entire day and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're like going to use one and you're trying to pull a roulette and you open up the one that's the handicapped one and you're like, oh no, yeah, I'm not going in there. No, it's like somebody exploded.
Oh, I know.
You know, and let me put it this way. I closed the door. I walked away to wait in line to another one, and these two girls walked up, and they opened up the door, and they both went, they shut the door. They still went in. But they screamed. And so we went over to the main lightning stage, and we caught MIA, and we saw, and there's MIA, heard the production. First of all, you've seen her a couple of times at Coachella. This is my first time watching her, and I'm familiar with her persona. You know, her kind of like bratty sort of I'm a rapper kind of thing. Yeah. She reminds me of that Cecily Strong skit character on Saturday Night Live, the British one. I'm a rapper. You know, the girlfriend, and it's weird because it's like when she's being like that on stage, she's playing it up. You know, at one point. But like after having 2 days of running through the dialogue in my mind, I'm like, when somebody says something, you're initially like kind of bristled, but then when you look at it from a distance and with the benefit of time, you go, oh, that's pretty funny. I mean, she was on stage, and at one point she's all, I don't want to like follow any conspiracies or anything like that, but the amount of 5G towers that I had to pass just to play in Bakersfield is. Oh, can't even imagine. So, for all of you thinking that this is a tin hat that I'm wearing, it's silver. It's pure silver. I'm like, at the time, I'm like going, oh my, I'm rolling my eyes now. I'm thinking about it. I'm going, that's really funny.
How was her performance? Like, did she come out guns blazing? Or?
She came out.
She just kind of walks around.
Yeah, she walks around.
Bobs.
She puts her leg up. She puts her foot up on the monitor and leans into the microphone. Does the rock poses. The thing is, her music is brilliant. They're collage pieces, just like her art. When her art is like all collages, cut together photographs with like, pasted words, almost like ransom note kind of stuff. And just like if you see in any of her album covers, that's what she does. Yeah. So her music are sonic collages. So there'll be like a little bit of Indian drumming, and then there'll be like hip hop beats. And I think the only reason why she raps or does any vocals on her albums because she probably doesn't think anybody can do it better than her, because she's got the final idea what the collage sounds like. She's not a singer or a rapper. She has no pitch. She has pitch, but she's just constantly flat. So she sings here, just underneath the note. And so a lot of the vocals that she was singing
raps the same way she speaks.
Exactly.
There's no change.
No. And when she's singing some notes, they're just not out there. But, you could hear, to her credit, the main vocals, she was basically playing. Somebody said that they saw MIA soundcheck, and I said, well, how was soundcheck? And he's like, well, if you consider pushing play a soundcheck, or putting a record on a soundcheck, I was like laughing about it. And they come out dressed in their big
dancers and stuff like that.
About 4 or 5 of them, and sometimes it'd be 2, sometimes it'd be 3, sometimes it'd be full strength, and they're dancing. It's kind of the same with Santa Gold, but I enjoyed Santa Gold's performance more because it was cleaner and it was more powerful, whereas this was just kind of like just overwhelming lights and everything else like that. It didn't have a lot of gravity. That's the one thing. It was basically like watching a light show while listening to MIA playing along to an MIA song.
Oh yeah.
That's really what it was, and
that's kind of one of those dilemmas that some artists, when they're gonna perform live, it's like, then you like all of a sudden you have a hit, and then people want to see you live, and then it's just like, I never anticipated having to actually go out there and play these huge festivals. Then you have to like create stuff around the artist because they don't really have the most energy.
And not to mention the fact that if they wanted to make those recreate those songs live, they would need dozens of musicians. They would need a kids choir they would need at least 3 to 4 hand drummers and plus a
Yep.
set drummer plus a keyboard, all of these different in order, and that's just one song. So she's got all these different kind of sonic variants between. She's very prolific in terms of like the styles. So even while she's rapping like this, she's rapping like this, and she's going and talking like this, and one time she was kind of making a statement of all the different songs that used the Straight to Hell Clash sample like she did on Paper Planes. So at the end of the concert, of course, she plays Paper Planes, biggest hit, and she doesn't sing it. She starts singing all the other versions that use that same sample, and she goes, "I'm still waiting on my royalties," and I'm like, "Didn't you take the song from the Clash?"
Yeah.
So, but again, it's that bratty part of it. It's just funny, she's singing it, and at one point I'm thinking, is she making fun of it? My wife thought that she was clowning on Post Malone because Post Malone has that one that uses the same sample, and so basically, which I find brilliant because Post Malone used a sample used from a regular song.
Yeah.
So maybe he does owe her some royalties. So
Probably. Well, I'm sure it was all worked out. The Clash.
Well,
I'm sure the Clash's legal team's probably has something to say.
They're like, oh, we're good, but they're making phone calls as we speak. But the thing is, though, because she sung Post Malone's version of his song, he's gonna get royalties.
Yeah,
she's paying him royalties.
yeah. ASCAP and CSAC.
Yeah, exactly.
And BMI,
Yeah, they know what's up. They know what's up.
So overall, Lightning in a Bottle, another successful year.
It's my third time. It's my third time there. I've had nothing but great times. It's a transformative experience, and for people that have gone there and that go there, they know what that's like. It's more than just a music festival, and it's expensive, really expensive.
Yeah.
But
it's a world-class festival. It's like going to Coachella. I think for us here in Bakersfield, it's because it's here in Bakersfield. It's hard for a lot of people in Bakersfield to actually comprehend that this world-class, world-renowned festival with a lot of mileage under it, that it's known around the world, to get artists like MIA to come to Kern County.
Yeah. And I'll add this caveat, though. It's not necessarily for everybody, because if your music collection stopped in 1985 or 1989 or 1990, or if you don't like hip hop, or if you don't like dance music, or if you don't like rock, even, you're not gonna have you're gonna have kind of you're not gonna find anything to connect you to the show. But there's such an intense blast of this vital energy. It's just this pure kind of like youthful energy when you're just kind of surrounded by it, but it's welcoming. It's not, like the first year I showed up, I walked through the door and I was like 40 on the wrong side of 40, and I walk in and I'm seeing bikinis and guys no shirts on, they're wearing sunglasses, they're and walking around, and I'm like, the average age of the person here is like 22 or 23, and I'm like, oh, this is not for me. This is not my place. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, somebody comes up and high fives me out of nowhere, and it's all, hey, high five.
Yeah.
Cool. And then other people coming through, people's on stilts and stopping by, other people just like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, are you from what's it called, from hospitality? Did somebody from this festival send you? No, we're just happy to see you. And I'm like, it's really nice.
It's like a Woodstock vibe, and there's a lot of elements that you're going to have to deal with. So like, put example, if you went to like the Cruel World Festival over there in Pasadena by the Rose Bowl, it's obviously a lot of lush grass. It's a different experience. A Lightning in a Bottle type festival, it's kind of similar to going to Coachella, but even Coachella has a lot of grass.
Right.
Lightning in a Bottle is different. There's not a lot of grass. There's a lot of dirt.
And a lot of gopher holes, too.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful, especially at night when you're walking around.
Yeah, it's not I would say it's not the nicest place.
No.
But the fact that it came here, there's a lot of pluses. The pluses outweigh the minuses.
Yeah, and it actually changes the chemistry of the place to actually be. And I think the DNA of that place, because it's kind of ragged and because it's kind of rugged and because it is a camp yard.
Yeah.
It is a campground on for the majority of the day. So like if you picture imagine like Camp Crystal Lake. That's it. If you've ever seen a Friday the 13th movie, Camp Crystal Lake, imagine a music festival going on there. Idea for a movie, Friday the 13th, Part 11. Lightning in a Bottle. Death by lightning. Death by bottle. Jason.
Oh my God. Speaking of horror movies, did you see the John Mulaney? Have you seen any of the Netflix special that Everybody's in L.A.?
I saw that. Yeah, a little bit of it.
The last episode, he has John Carpenter on it.
No way.
Yes, you got to see it. I'm not going to spoil it for you.
No.
My favorite ones.
Is he going to talk about the annoying guy?
They're all funny. The first one was like they were trying to get things going because they did it every single night live for 6 nights, 5 nights, 6 nights.
Right.
My favorite one, the paranormal one. They have Elvira, and then who's Jimmy Kimmel's ex-girlfriend? She's the comedian.
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
She's
great.
So beautiful.
And
So
dude,
beautiful. So funny. So beautiful. So talented.
Los Lobos performs.
Yes.
Beck.
Yeah. As LA musician as can be.
Weezer.
Yeah.
They did. Oh my God! They did El Scorcho.
Okay.
From Pinkerton and Buddy Holly.
Excellent.
Dude, they sound great.
Yeah.
I mean, all the bands, Los Lobos, they tore up La Bamba, man.
Oh,
they,
wow.
they did a different arrangement. I'm like, that's an arrangement we need to do.
That's an arrangement we will do.
Yeah.
That's an arrangement we will do.
They were just killing it, man. Anyway, so that's that. All right, so lightning in a bottle, great.
Yeah. Yep.
And you finally got some rest.
Kind of.
After it was all over.
Kind of. It's kind of like vacation. It's like my wife, who I adore, and who is giving me some of the best parts of my life. Is not a person that likes to stay still. She's got big Leo energy, so she's like, "Let's go do something. Let's do something. Yeah. Let's go." So, like when she's at rest, she's at rest. The lion rests. The lioness rests. But when we go on vacation, there's no such thing as staying in the hotel. There is. Yeah. We got to go do a tour. We got to go walk around. We got to look at the city
because your schedules are differently.
Yeah, and exactly. So,
and I've gone through that too.
Yeah,
because it's like, now we're on a vacation, and my wife will say, Matt, I've been to a lot of the gigs, and I've been there for a lot of the gigs.
Yeah.
Now it's our turn to go do something. You're going to have to muster up some energy. We're going to go do something.
Yes, right? Exactly. So even the vacations are not vacations. My idea of a vacation will be, or for my birthday, this is my idea of a birthday. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? Nothing. What do you want? Well, what do you want to? Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to do? Nothing. Well, do you want to go in it? No. I want to stay here. I want to sit on the couch. I want food brought to me.
Yeah.
by a pizza place.
Like Father's Day.
Yeah, like Father's Day. I basically want to.
Leave me alone.
If it basically the most I want to move is to the door to pick up the pizza that I just ordered.
Yes.
And that's it. That's it. And then I'm going right back down to the couch and I'm watching Law and Order all day. That's it. That's my idea of that's my 50-year-old rock and roll birthday, 51-year-old this year birthday party that I want. I want to do nothing. Yes. And when people say, and what's funny is that everybody over 50 goes, yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. I want to do nothing too. So yeah, that's it. So
now I like going to the gym.
Yeah. So now he did that's its own meditation. Yeah. So Monday I went back to teaching because I was so busy last week. I went back to teaching drums. I taught all day from morning to night, and I had some time, and so this week is just basically just catching up for all the stuff that I did last week. So,
but now you have a lowdown dropping.
Yeah, dropped. Yes, it dropped yesterday, and but the lowdown dropped.
What you got going on in the lowdown this week?
I talked about a benefit happening June 2nd for over at the Rustic Rail, and for a local musician, and I also talked about. Willie T. Taylor. And the other thing that I wrote about was our own lightning in a bottle, the 3 Days in Space.
3 Days in Space, which is back.
Yeah. And it's new location.
A new location.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The empty space is relocated over to Southwest Bakersfield as from its place next to Pizzaville, which was also really cool because when they used to do 3 Days in Space, you could go to Pizzaville, have a lunch, have some wedges, and then just walk back to the festival. For those of you who don't know, it's a festival that's put on by Dylan Gertzen, who was my local I guess person of the year last year for my lowdown for the Bakersfield Californian. He's the owner of Killer Kern Records, and he also puts together the majority of 3 Days of Space, which features mostly local artists that are on the Killer Kern record label. But it's 3 days: Friday night, Saturday morning to afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday evening. So it's basically 5 different. It's split into 5 different kind of time zones, and you could choose either one of the 5 time zone or buying a ticket to go see all 3 or all day. So basically, you can customize your tickets. You're purchasing to fit any of those allotments, and it's all the who's who from all the different post indie hardcore, post indie rock, pretty much all the indie bands that are in town, like Modern Wives, Transmissions, those bands, they're all going to be playing. Dancing Tommy, all those bands.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a fest.
Yeah,
it's the first quarter fest.
Yeah, so
the fest happens later. And they're kind of like the same lineups. I mean, yeah, you get a kind of taste of all these bands. A lot of the groups, this is one thing I noticed, that this is the only show they play.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like some of them. So if you want to find out what's going on, you got to catch the show, because sometimes, according to what I've noticed, is that there are a lot of these groups that they only play 3 days in space and maybe play maybe 1 or 2 shows.
Yeah, if that.
If not,
it's still missing. They had my favorite album a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be performing as well too. The first time I saw them was at 3 days in space. The thing about it is, there's not a lot of space in the empty space, even though the name might suggest otherwise.
And it was held over Memorial Day weekend, right?
Usually,
yeah.
But
they had to bump it.
They had to bump it because it's happening next weekend. So it's happening on the weekend,
which is smart.
Yeah,
I think it's better that way.
Yeah,
you get an opportunity to go to the show, because it's not clashing with all the other things, with vacations.
Yeah, exactly.
And all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so like the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, that's when it's happening. Mm-hmm. And so when you have all these different kind of artists, you kind of like pick and choose which ones you want to see, and they're all young. So
Monty Byram's playing. He's not young.
Oh, well, young at heart. It's in fact, it depends on your definition of young, because it's like
we're all young.
Yeah, it's
look at us.
Look at us. I'm not. I guess
I'm trying to find the flyer.
The 3 days of space.
But it's both. I believe. Let's see. Modern Wives is having their album release.
Yes.
Show. Which, by the way, is very good. I listened to it. I know that Dan Thompson had said he had made a post. And he goes, like, I know most of my Facebook friends or Instagram followers have not listened to the album, but I really, you should check it out. It's really good. And I was like, well, I listened to it. Yeah, I listened. Don't be talking to me like that.
It's like, don't be so quick to assume, Dan.
Yeah, man. And because there's another band that kind of also did the same thing. I think the Jump from the Bluffs, which is what's his name, used to be in Angry Asphalt Machine.
Right. Aaron.
Yeah.
Was it the lead singer Aaron, or was it the bass player Patrick?
Bass player Pat.
Patrick. Yeah, Patrick.
Yeah. He takes photos.
Yes.
Yeah, we ran into him while we were doing the marathon.
Yes, and pretty much it's like there's
a lot of good stuff. I'm like, just go out there. I mean, that's the one thing. Like, you have to constantly be pushing. If you don't, I mean, there's so much music out there, and even a band like us, I'm pushing the Christmas album in the middle of summer.
Yeah,
because you just never know what people are listening to. So you have to have somebody from the band who should be assigned to share the stuff. There's a lot of, I can't, if you're in a band, you know that you can't rely on all your band members to be promoting the band.
Right.
You can't expect that. Everybody kind of has a role, and everybody has a strength.
Absolutely.
So my thing is, like, I want to tell people about it. I don't want my band to put all this work into it so that nobody would hear it.
Well,
you gotta do your part. And it's so easy to do now.
Well, considering that also that on Friday night over here is Red Adair's reunion. They haven't performed as a band in years, and this is probably going to be a one-off for them as well too. Yeah. This is kind of a big deal. So, and again, when I say young, I mean it's relative. To me, I'm 50, so young is pretty much 30-something or younger. These guys are in their 40s now. Same thing with like Dan Thompson, like you were talking about, some of the guys, but they also have younger musicians in that band too.
No, what I meant by that was like these, like a band like Dropping In, which
Gotcha.
they're just out of high school.
Yeah.
Those young bands that you would expect to see at shows like this. But then you got some OGs. You got like a Monty.
Yeah,
and hopefully the kids are into seeing Monty.
Yeah, I think,
you know what I mean, because it's always, to me, like even with a band like us has been around as long as we're, it's always nice to see the young people out there dancing.
Yeah.
It's like if this is their kind of like entryway into supporting live music, because I mean there's not a whole, it's not like, live music to kids now is kind of like it's taken second fiddle to DJs and stuff.
Yeah, and I think
hip-hop,
and I wonder, I was wondering about this the other day. I wonder if that has a lot to do with the lack of emphasis on music courses in general.
Oh, music education.
Music education, where it's just sort of like when music education was there, kids could appreciate it because they were, playing music.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's not there, all of a sudden it's just kind of like, I don't know what that is. I don't care. It's just there. It's kind of like if you have your mom doing your laundry all the time, you don't really take an appreciation until you have to do it, where you're like, oh man, this sucks. But if you always have somebody else doing your laundry for you, you just kind of take it for granted. That's what people do with music these days.
Yeah, you know what Luis told me from Steady Beat Records, we've been a long friend of ours and supporter, puts out some vinyl, is that he says the band's got to make an effort to perform in all age venues.
Yeah.
No matter what age you are, if you feel like your band has something to share with the younger audiences, not like a club cover band, but I'm talking about like you have something to share that is original.
And something to say.
You have to make an effort to perform in all ages places, because those are the fans that are going to be like, it's so new to them. People our age, we just get kind of jaded. Like you say, you can get like 1,000 likes or support on Facebook.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into anything out off Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the ones that are the young audiences are the ones that are going to be listening to you much longer if they really like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's a little bit more finite if you get older audiences, and that's even if they like you, because from what I've seen, for the majority, most older audiences have very fixed tastes. They like what they've liked.
Yeah.
So they like hearing stuff that reminds them of what they've liked already, whereas younger audiences are more open to different kind of things if they like it. So if they hear something that's kind of old-timey and they don't like it, then, and done with very low energy, they might not be that involved in it. But if they hear something and they get connected with it, it's like they'll become fans for life.
And you need the young bands. You need younger bands to form too. You need young musicians up on stage, because the young fans, you want to get offer them an outlet to go see you.
Yeah,
and so this is another thing that Luis says. It's like you want those kids your age to see you up on stage, because they're going to form another band.
Yeah, and
they see themselves on stage. They can relate. Okay, you guys, you see them up on stage. We need to do this.
Yeah.
We need to do a band like this.
Yeah,
and then it just keeps on, and the cycle continues.
Absolutely, and then other younger artists, other younger musicians do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And then after a while, there comes, and the thing is too, there's got to be a drive, not for huge. It doesn't necessarily have to be for huge. Here's the thing: Paul Perez gave me the best advice one time. He said, everybody, you should have your own definition of success. Whatever your definition of success is, that should be what you're looking towards getting. It doesn't have to be like big record contracts, or they don't even have that anymore, or lots of music, or even playing music for a living. It's got to be something that you feel that will make you successful.
Yeah.
And for a lot of folks, I'll tell you this right now, the main secret to making it in music is just not stopping. That's really it. Not having anything really holding you back. No detrimental kind of like health problems or addictions or anything else like that. But just really just not stopping and going for it. And eventually people will catch up. You might not have worldwide success where you're being viewed on TikTok 2 billion times like Surf Curse or something for a little snippet of a song. The most requested song, Freaks by Surf Curse, for my students. Because of that 15-minute snip, because of that TikTok video that they were on,
well, that one and also the King Kong barbecue.
That's
yeah. I mean, Jesus.
Everybody, and people want to know that song, but it opens up doors to other different kinds of music as well too, if they're up for it. If they're not, and they just like that little snippet and that's it. That's their thing, but. you just got to keep going for it. And that's why, like, on Saturday night, it's going to be Modern Wives and kind of like Indie Rock Day. Friday is the harder rock with the mainstays like Red Adair and Niner. And then Sunday is kind of like, it's a really eclectic. Sundays are always my funnest day. I think Sundays are the best day to go to these shows, but not to dissuade you from going to go see the other shows on Saturday. But Sunday shows are going to have kind of like an Americana beginning. That's when Monty's playing, by the way, along with the Appletons and Michael Peters, who was also playing.
Isn't he in Red Adair?
Yeah, he's in Red Adair as well too. So he's also playing on Friday night. So, and then Transmissions, they're kind of like a super group with like Marty and Cass Falconberry, who used to be the drummer for Choirs. This is their new...
Yeah, and Il Sogno,
which is basically Choirs with Il Sogno, and then Dax Dominguez, he's playing that same night with Contranistas. So and Still Missing, of course. So this is a night for the thoughtful indie rockers, the thoughtful, mature indie rockers, whereas the younger indie rockers are all Saturday day with, and then when you want the laid back Americana, Sunday afternoon. When you want more of the indie rock fizz, then you get Izzy and the Finns and Lou Beauty Sunday evening. And it's just, if anything, if you ever went to shows at Bam Bam's and you like music and you're looking for something to do, and you're like, I wonder what music's like in Bakersfield. I don't know anybody that would ask themselves that question, but if you happen to ask that question, or if you are looking for a snapshot into where we're at musically in terms of our local indie music contingent, this is the where to go.
Yeah, you might as well go and get it, kind of find out what's going on, because like I said, this is my only thing. And maybe it's more the bands, because obviously Dylan is offering all these bands an opportunity to play together.
Yes.
You guys got to keep playing. Don't just wait for this one show. Like, we're going to play 2 shows a year. We're going to play Fest and 3 Days in Space.
Right.
Keep on playing, give the people an opportunity to go see you, and then you could start saying, "Oh wow! I mean, look at how amazing! Like, we are really truly seeing the fruits of our work putting into the Bakersfield music scene." Because they say, "Oh, we're making Bakersfield music scene," but you're basing it on one show.
Yeah,
you should know. You say that after you do a lot of shows.
Yeah, and
I'm not just saying 5 shows a year. You guys should be playing all the time, man. Yeah, and then you can say, we're really look at all the people that are coming out to see us, because people want to see the bands, but you got to give them an opportunity.
Well, it's the same thing happened with Still Missing. They only did the first, I think it was the first 3 Days in Space, because I was playing with Make Mine Yours, and they played after us. And I happened to stick around, and I knew Ben, the bass player, and I knew a lot of the other members in the band already. And I was like, well, I'm curious about these. And then they were powerful. They were so good. And then they didn't play because they've been recording this album forever. And they finally came out with the album, and they did 3 Days in Space again. Then they started playing more, right? They started getting. So think of it like this, everyone, especially the bands playing. 3 Days in Space is either the start of the sentence or the exclamation point. But there's got to be a sentence following it or before it. So it's got to lead up to it. So that way, by the time you actually do these kinds of shows, it's either a homecoming or a kicking off point. And then it just falls back, and then it just folds itself into the next year. So you have something to look forward to.
Yeah, especially if you have a lot of these groups, you could kind of go down the list, look them up, and see if they have a Spotify and or an Apple playlist. See if they're releasing music and kind of get ready for them.
Yeah.
Like I said, Modern Wives, their new album's out. It's been out for a while.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, listen to it.
Yeah.
Go find it and take this like you said, it's going to be the record release party for this one. Same thing with the Sanglorians. The amount of music that's coming out of Bakersfield and that's come out of Bakersfield, just like with the interview with Willie T. Taylor, it's in the ground. It's in the with fingers in the dirt. Whether it's agriculture or oil, that's where we come from. We're roots, and roots. All these mental voodoo jokes just showed up, but the music is the same way. And musicians from Bakersfield, I have 2 words that best. The best describe Bakersfield musicians to me at their highest level, which is representation and domination. The representation is representing who they are and where they're from and the community or where they're part of, and the domination is being so like you can't miss it, infallibly good. Like you can't ignore it. You can't deny it. You can't ignore it. You want to be powerful and you want to dominate, and it doesn't have to be like with any sort of like we're the best and we know it. It's just got to be like, check this out. Boom, we're here. And next thing you know, people walk out going, what was that? That was what just happened? Someone just slapped me. And you're like, oh, Bakersfield. You know, that's what it should be. Representation and domination from this tiny little 600,000 people metropolis of Bakersfield right in the Central Valley that's been exporting food, oil, and music to the world and changing those industries for the rest of our lives.
You know what I'm going to do is let's play a Modern Wives tune off their new album. I'm gonna look it up. See, it's because you can go look up on your preferred streaming device, streaming device, your iPod, your preferred streaming place. Let's see here.
I would recommend Feels Like Falling because that is the single off of their album.
Oh, okay, let's do that. This is... Wait, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, all right. Cesario picked it. This is Modern Wives from Bakersfield appearing at 3 Days in Space, their new album. It's called Goodbye, Drunken Ghost. It's out now. They're going to have the release party over there, but here's a song off there, and you should go check them out. This is Feels Like Falling.
Surround you when I look into your eyes.
All right, see, that was Feels Like Falling by
Amazing.
Modern Wives.
Amazing,
Amazing.
right?
Off of their album Drunken Ghost, which is on all streaming sites right now. I love their artwork. It has like a couple.
Raul Gallardo, the bass.
Yeah.
No, the guitar
Artist?
player.
Yeah, guitar player.
He's a guitar. He's a guitarist. He's also the art designer for most of Killer Kern records, and also for Modern Wives.
Wow, 14 songs, 54 minutes. Ambitious.
Yeah, and a lot of it, all of it done in house.
Yes.
They recorded it themselves. They mixed it themselves. Gary Rink, their bass player, is a complete nerd about this sort of stuff, so he goes in deep.
Not featuring Kyle Appleton.
Yeah, no, Kyle Appleton's got his own method, but he's doing it as well too.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, shout out to everybody out there. So go out there and play it. So you can check that out at Bakersfield.com. 3 Days in Space. Read the lowdown with Cesario.
Yep.
Now, let's wrap this up.
Yep.
What'd you watch?
well, like I was saying, after Monday, you know, when we were talking about relaxing after a long day, my day was spent on Monday. During the beginning of the week, I thought, okay, I'm done teaching. I'm done at 7 o'clock. I'm going to go see a movie. And so I saw Furiosa.
Okay. Give me the scoop.
Okay.
Without giving away too much, but then you got to get to the chili dog, the return of the chili dog rating system.
Absolutely. So for those of you curious what Furiosa is a Mad Max saga. Mad Max was a series of films with Mel Gibson in the 1980s. It was rebooted, sequel, whatever, in just a few years ago with Mad Max Fury Road. Excellent movie. Probably
one of the best action films of all time.
Brilliant.
All time.
Brilliant. And the thing about that movie is it's bonkers. It's creative. It's beautiful. I mean, there are some the chase scenes in this movie in Fury Road are just superb. When you say one of the best action movies of all time, I concur. Top 5.
Yep.
Top 5 easily. This one's not there. There are some action sequences.
Now, is this supposed to predate
Yes.
Mad Max?
Yeah, this
the
is
original Mad Max.
This is Fury Road 0.5. So this is telling the story of the character played by Charlize Theron in Fury Road, Furiosa, the one-armed, black-faced Imperium that was trying to save these 5 women from being captive as basically broodmare, as breeders for Imperium Joe, who was the big baddie of that movie. And that movie was basically driving forward and then driving back. This one is kind of a revenge movie because it starts off with Furiosa as just a little kid being kidnapped, but she's spunky and she's very resourceful and she's a fighter, and introduces you to her mom. And then it just goes through like a 15-year span of between then and kind of like sort of the beginning of Fury Road, but we're not really sure. Because there's also another time, we're not sure if there's another time jump at the end or not, or if it goes right over the end. And there are a lot of questions that are kind of left. The movie's about 2.5 hours long, and it could have definitely been longer. This could have been like, let me put it this way. Imagine Fury Road is Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and imagine this is The Hobbit.
Oh.
So this is kind of like talking about, there are some things, the thing that killed me about Fury Road, but killed me in a good way, were all the practical effects. Like when you saw something wreck, you're like, something blows up. There's a shot of this big chase scene in Fury Road where these guys are on, the Cirque du Soleil guys are on these stilts that are kind of bending down to pick the women up from this big semi-truck. And while this is happening, Mad Max, Tom Hardy finds himself on one of these poles swinging back and forth like, what the heck? And in one of the scenes, he's swinging in front of the camera while one of the semi-trucks in the back, being flanked by a dozen cars, explodes. And this was a real stunt done in real time, which I think was up until some James Bond movie was like the biggest explosion in a movie up to that point. They broke a lot of stunt records in this movie. They were all maniacs in that movie. Seriously, they were like, all those Mad Max movies, there's one shot in, I think it's in The Road Warrior, where a motorbike crashes and this guy flies off like in a summer. He looks like a ninja star. He's like, that was real, and he broke bones doing that. Oh my god! But he's like, I'm right next. If anything, I just realized right now that the Imperium Imperium Joe exists, and that's George Miller, because he's getting these. He's wondering if these stunt guys like spray chrome into their mouth and like, "Witness me, film and action."
Oh yeah. So is there any characters? Because like you're talking about Fury Road. Remember the guy, the heavy metal guy with the guitar?
Yeah.
Like all those great characters you just didn't expect. Like that became like a fan favorite. Like,
this Fury.
Does they have characters like that?
It does.
Film?
A lot of them, and it's actually incredibly brutal too. But not a lot of blood. Like a couple of like 3 characters are killed in incredibly brutal ways.
Yeah.
But they don't really show it. They just kind of you just see the beginning of them getting killed.
But like
and then that's it.
But like you said, so keyword practical effects for Fury Road.
Yeah.
All right. So
this one has a lot more CGI and a lot more green screen and a lot more kind of like. There's no way she'd survive that flame blast throw, but
I wonder why. I mean, I know it saves a lot of money and all that stuff, but like there's a reason, there's a charm, there's the attraction, there's the thing about practical effects.
It's been said that the best CGI is the CGI you don't notice, and you notice some of the CGI. There's one part in the beginning of the movie with a horse, with somebody jumping on a horse, that it looks fake. It looks CGI. It just sort of, it looks unnatural. And from that point on, you're kind of like tuned, or at least I was tuned to look for the CGI and the green screen. And it happens a lot. There's a part of the movie, like in the first Fury Road, you meet Furiosa, and she's got one arm, right? And the other arm is metal. It's a metal claw that is attached to her bicep. And you kind of wonder, they show how that shows up here. But the way it kind of like gets introduced and what it does, all of a sudden it's like when you kind of have to fill in the blanks of the story in your own mind. Well, they must have done this, and they must have learned this, and this must have happened for it to kind of create. But if it's there, then how does it do this? How does it know how to open up and close? I mean, it's all these different kind of things that you want answers to, because they're already opened up the book to show you this kind of like origin story. It's like, but you don't get answers to, so you kind of have to like fill in the gaps in your own mind of like what it is. And at one point, they actually do show Mad Max. He's actually credited as Mad Max in the movie towards the end, but you don't see the Mad Max's face. You just see the Challenger, and there's a lot of characters. The actor, I'll tell you what, Anya Taylor-Joy does fine, doesn't do a lot. She's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And she's almost otherworldly. She's ethereal. Her eyes, there's big blue eyes, and that swan neck. She kind of looks like Charlize Theron, but she doesn't look like Charlize Theron. But that wasn't the point. Two things happen. This is the only movie I ever saw in the Mad Max franchise that I can remember where the main character becomes vulnerable. Where you see her like in Mad Max Fury Road, where she finds out her dreams have been devastated. She falls on her knees, and that's it. But she never talks it out. She never says, "I can't believe that this," And when you're talking about someone who's endured trauma and death and brutality and everything, and just one point or another through their entire life, and then at the end asking, "I want my childhood back," it's kind of like. That's the first time they're allowing those characters to be human. That's the first time I've ever seen that in the Mad Max movie. And the character that really takes the movie is Chris Hemsworth's character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't remember his Dementum. I can't remember his name right now.
Dementum?
Something kind of
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's the main baddie of this movie, and good Lord, he's bad. But he's also incredibly crafty and
he looks like who's King of the Sea? Poseidon.
Poseidon, yeah.
He kind of looks like a Poseidon.
I have to wonder what was the impetus behind putting that big nose on him, and they make him look like he kind of looks like the actor who like the guy who played the dwarf in Lord of the Rings, Rhys Davies. He's got that.
You always got to give him a schnoz.
Yeah, so he doesn't look like, it's like they wanted to Chris Hemsworth, which I know he must have had a blast, because he's here in probably the most well-known Australian movie franchise in movie history, and he's playing around in monster trucks. There's a monster truck in this that's pretty awesome.
Really?
Yeah, and it's it's all good, but the best chase scene happens in the middle of the movie, and it is on par with anything. In fact, I even think it's better than anything in Fury Road. So it's kind of weird because I heard a reviewer, Jeremy Johns, describe this movie. He said that if Fury Road is sixth gear, Furiosa is gears 1 through 5, and it's pretty accurate. Although I would probably put it at 1 through 4, but because the only thing, no, it goes to 5 because that chase scene in the semi with the dualies, good lord, it's basically about how creative they are about how are we going to get on this moving semi? Why? From the air, of course, or from underneath, of course, or maybe we're going to... It's all these different kind of things, and how are we going to kill these people that are coming from the air? Well, let's think about it. What are we going to put on this truck in order to do that? And so it's all these things that are happening, and it's the creativity and the beauty, and it's just beautiful.
Okay,
but
all right.
Yeah.
So, how many chili dogs?
I'm going to give it, as a fan of the franchise and as having seen Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome in the theater, and The Road Warrior being one of my favorite movies of all time, probably Fury Road actually I think being better than that. If I were to do these in order, it would be Fury Road, Road Warrior, Furiosa, Mad Max, Beyond Thunderdome.
So a reminder to everybody out there listening, if you're listening to the terrestrial broadcast, you can go to the podcast, to the Real Talk podcast, to hear this interview in its entirety, the entire e-news.
Yeah.
So you can go to Spotify, Apple, Pandora, iHeart, even Deezer. Yes.
I hear you
even
laughing.
Deezer.
I hear you laughing.
Yeah. So go out there. Support 3 Days in Space.
Yep.
Go check out all the bands.
Yep.
Go to Bakersfield.com. Support the Bakersfield California.
You use a TBC mobile app on your phone.
Yeah, or follow Cesario on Facebook because he copies and pastes his article right there for everybody to read it.
Yeah, so that way, in case because the last thing I want to hear is somebody go read it, but there's a paywall.
Yeah, but go get it. It doesn't even cost that much. Go get a get a copy of the paper.
Get a subscription to the paper, you heathens.
Yeah, exactly.
Support your local newsmakers.
Yeah,
they're the ones keeping the troublemakers honest.
Yeah, and if you want to go catch a movie, go take a date night. Take your Geralt out for a meal and a movie.
Yeah, don't get the hi-hat. Don't get the hi-hat.
Furiosa.
Go see Furio. Actually, if you want to take your date out to a movie, go see The Fall Guy.
Oh,
If you wanna take your date and she likes cars, go see Furiosa.
Furiosa. Yeah, she's a gearhead.
She's a gearhead.
Yeah. So to get to the Real Talk
A black
podcast,
hand.
you can either search
As
us
they call it,
search us on there.
As they call it in Fury Road. You know how they have. I think it was black thumb. Instead of green thumb, it's a black thumb. That means that, or a black hand, meaning that you're a mechanic because you got all those greens.
Like mano negra.
Mano negra.
But oops.
Yeah. As you were saying.
Yes.
As you were saying.
Okay, so if you want to find the Real Talk podcast, you can go do the regular search, and hopefully there's bound to be a bunch of Real Talk podcasts. Or you can just go to our socials at Real Talk Show 661 on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, even X and TikTok. And go up to
What about Threads?
Yes, we're on Threads as well.
Yeah.
So if you go up to the link in bio, it'll do the little drop-down menu, subscribe, and you can follow all that stuff. Anyway, thank you, Cesario, for
My
being
pleasure.
on the show.
Okay.
You'll be back next week.
Yes, I will.
We'll be right back with more Real Talk.